right, peace, family. We should be live right now. Got a dynamite show tonight. You see, Griff had to wear the vest. It's so fun, man. Griff had to put on the vest.
Y'all, okay. Would it be? Is this better than what I had on earlier for another show? I had the whole Public Enemy Professor Griff join on. Like, yo, I can't come on Brother Richard's show like that. You know, after speaking to some high school students, I gotta, they don't really know who I am, so I gotta like. But anyway, I'm happy to be here, and it's a beautiful thing. I haven't seen or spoke with you in a minute, Brother Rich, Red Pill or you, sis, Miss Vicki Dillard. But I'm happy to be here, man. It's a beautiful day. We living in. I'm surviving. I'm here, healthy.
Vicki, how you doing, Queen?
I'm blessed and I'm grateful. I bow to these gods that I'm among today. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Indeed. Red, what's going on with you, brother? Because I see you don't have the camera on. Is everything all right?
Everything is beautiful and great. You know what I'm talking about? Camera will be on in a minute. I'm just in transit.
Okay, great. Red is in transit. He'll have everything up and running in a second. In the meantime, let everybody know we live right now. We're gonna have an amazing show tonight. Let me just share a quick something real quick with y'all. I'm a little distracted from my fault, family. But what's up with y'all in the room? Welcome. Come on in the room, family. Good to see y'all again. All right. Good to see y'all again. Let me just let y'all know tonight's show is sponsored by the Manifest Destiny 2022 Virtual Retreat Workshop. I mean, it's awesome. This queen here, Oshun, I keep forgetting how she says her name, but I call Oshun. Damn, I forgot. Orisha Oshun. I'm sorry. My son is making noise upstairs. My mind is somewhere else right now. But Orisha Oshun, Billy Carson, as well as a lot of other instructors will be there. Billy's going to give us a course on advanced stock options, as well as spiritual techniques to manifest things in your life. We're going to have a yoga instructor, meditation instructor. It's 2 days, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. each day. The link is in the description bar. The last day, actually, David Icke is closing it out. There's going to be an exclusive Q&A. I'm going one-on-one with David Icke. So I'm going one-on-one. I can't do it on YouTube because they'll shut down the interview because he got banned from YouTube. Did y'all know that?
No, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, I heard you say that the other day.
Yeah, he got banned from YouTube and Facebook. So the stuff I want to talk to him about, I know they'll shut the interview down. So and he's going to talk about other stuff as well, but it's going to be an explosive Q&A to end out the virtual retreat. But I advise all of y'all to get your tickets early. It's limited tickets. I want to see a lot of my family from the Black Magic 363 family over there. The days and times we live in, very important for us to be as self-sufficient as possible, as well as to take care of our health, because we can't depend on these institutions at all. So the goddess Orisha Oshun, that sister's off the hook. So I can't wait for her to drop it. Can't wait, and she's doing this while she's pregnant. So she's on that. She's on that frequency. But I'm back, y'all.
Beautiful.
We here. Let me see. Is the Red disappeared?
Yeah, Red was in transit, so I think he's gonna come back on. Yeah, there you go.
Red, you all right? Yeah, I think he's Yeah, click the link in the bio if you want to know the price, or if you want to know more information. Click the link, not in the bio, in the description. And we actually lowered the price some. It was $180, but we lowered the price some. We want everybody to come through. And I want to get to the show though, but I'll talk about that a lot in the upcoming weeks. All right, family. But I'm glad to have y'all back on here again. I swear, man, it's always a pleasure and fun to have all of y'all with me. Kyrie, Irving, Dave Chapelle, what we see going. I mean, Dave Chapelle dominated the news headlines last week after his special came out. Got a lot of criticism from the LGBTQ. I think I said that right. Community, and and he was, he He was unapologetic. You know, he stood on what he stood on. And we're not used to seeing that no more. We don't see that no more from black celebrities and black entertainers. So a lot of people were thrilled. Some were disappointed. A lot of people were thrilled at that. And Kyrie Irving standing on his square. Now, you know, we got to talk in code words because of what YouTube is doing. So we're going to be very mindful of what we're doing. We're in war right now. We're very mindful of that. And we're going to maneuver and should be strategic with this conversation tonight. But to start out with the conversation, y'all, it's interesting. I seen Vicki Dillard. I seen you. I think it was you, Vicki. You shared a clip. Stephen A was going in on Kyrie Irving. I mean, he was, you know, his usual self, screaming and yelling and theatrical and everything. You know how he does. Yeah, he's comical when he does it. You know, some people take him serious, some people don't. But it's weird that we're taught our whole life to stand for what we believe in, to have honor, to have dignity, to have virtue, to you know, all these great, amazing traits. And we read about people who display these in history, Muhammad Ali and many others, and we read about it in books and we watch it in the movies, but everybody admires these people. But it's like when you do it in real time, they don't admire you. They just admire the characters in the book. They admire the history lesson. They admire the dead folks. But when you do it in real time, they don't admire it. So I know it throws people off like, wait a minute, you've been telling me my whole life to stand for what I believe in. So to start out with Vicki, Griff, Red, what's up with that philosophy, that psychology? Griff, I guess you wanted to start. You raise your hand. So go ahead,
no. I was raising my hand because I'm a victim of that.
Yes. I was thinking about you today. Yes.
I'm in real time, speaking truth to power in real time. So what you're saying is you are right on point, man. People do not, you know something, it's the hardcore real people that will stand up for you and the real ones that got your back. And I want to say it this way, but I don't mean any disrespect to anyone, that it almost seems like the ones that have the least to lose are the ones that stand up and got your back. You understand what I'm saying? I was having a conversation with a doctor, and he was basically saying, well, excuse my manners. First of all, greetings to everyone. You understand what I'm saying? But he was basically saying that, listen, man, it's almost like at the age that we're at now, and both of us were in our 60s, and we was having this conversation today, he was saying, you have to talk in code and be very strategic on how you put things. I said, but listen, my situation was back in the 80s when Cat was speaking up and speaking out. You understand what I'm saying? And it almost seemed like even if I was that dude to take one for the team, I took one for the team, but the team didn't take one for me. Left me out to dry. Now I got to fend for myself. You understand what I'm saying? And just kind of go for it and survive however I got to survive. Some people can't come along and say, well, that's what you signed up for. You understand what I'm saying? They hit you with that one. And I'm like, but wait a minute. How about everyone that I supported on my way up and what I did, the statements that I did make? Now people are making them same statements freely on the internet. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I raised my hand, Brother Rich, because that's happening to me in real time. When you sent me the title of what we're talking about tonight, I said, wow, that sounds like me. A history of entertainers that speak up and speak out.
You're right.
Dealing with injustice. So I'm like, that has my name written all over it.
Yes.
Enough about Professor Griff, because there's gentlemen and women that came before me that have paid the ultimate price, meaning death, for speaking up and speaking out and trying to balance and do a juggling act with their livelihood, how they're going to eat, how they're going to survive, and then being honest and truthful to themselves and speaking truth to power for their people. I think the thing that really, there's a few of them that really touched my spirit. John Carlos and Tommy Smith. I had the pleasure of meeting the brother, and it's like to hear that story firsthand is nothing like hearing it firsthand, man. There was conflict, riots, and turmoil going on the whole entire week in 1968 during the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was a culmination of things that are already happening.
Mm-hmm.
But because the powers that be couldn't control what was going on in Mexico City at that particular time, it almost seemed like he said they took it out on them. And they really didn't speak. They just did a gesture of putting their black power fist in the air after getting their medals. And they said they were stripped. They were stripped of their medals, man. Stripped of their medals. And he said quietly, they came after both of them to try to destroy their lives.
Wow.
That was one of the ones that really kind of got to me. I think simply because it was 1968. You understand what I'm saying? Before that, it was Jesse Owens, but I didn't live during that time. I read about Jesse Owens, and it had to be explained to me what happened to Jesse Owens. But the situation with John Carlos and Tommy Smith, by raising the Black Power salute in the Summer Olympics in Mexico City, it really hit home. Because I was born in 60, that happened in 68, and you could just feel the tension. And I hear my brothers and sisters talking about it. Heard the chatter at the barbershop even back then. You understand what I'm saying? And this is real. Very, very, very real. So your question is right on point, Brother Rich. It's easy to go back into history and talk about them, but in real time with a Kyrie Irving, real time with a Dave Chapelle, real time with a few people that we don't know that's bubbling under, that don't get the press, it's a lot more jarring, so to speak. It hits home a lot harder.
Vicki, you want to add on to that? Oh, you done, Griff?
I just want to say one thing. I don't want to explain it, but I just want to throw his name in the fray, and I'm gonna get back to it. Colin Kaepernick. That happened in all of our lifetimes. We saw it unfold and we lived it. I just wanted to throw that in. That's it.
Yes, that's very powerful. What's your question to me, beloved?
Yeah, same question, Vicki. It seems as though we've been taught our whole lives to, obviously have pride and dignity and stand up for what we believe in, and we honor people who have done it in the past. But when somebody does it in real time, they're criticized for it, they're ridiculed for it. The same person that would to honor somebody who did it in the past will ridicule somebody who's doing it in the present right in front of them. So it's just real weird to me to witness that. Why do you think that psychology exists?
Well, in the first place, there's a such thing as, and greetings to everyone too, as well. It's such an honor to be here amongst legends and the Black family. So what a privilege and what an honor. We're in an extraordinary time, and I keep telling my beautiful tribe that we are in our finest hour. Please believe that all of the stuff that's happening, the bloodshed, the pain, these are some of the same traits that are associated with the woman that's getting ready to give birth, right? And so we must remember that we're getting ready to give birth to a new reality. So anyway, in terms of that, there's a such thing as controlled opposition. It's not real when we say that certain ones seem to honor the dead. We can raise the dead for whatever reasons we want to. They have a stamp of Malcolm X. The government, talk black to me. The government killed him. They said that Dr. King was the most dangerous man on the planet. The government killed him, murdered him. Is that right? And so now streets and schools and buildings are named after him. Is that right? So we've got to understand that people raise the dead so that they can shape the narrative of that individual, because they know that we reverence them. They know that we honor them. So they commandeer, our legends, our goddesses, our gods, and they silence the more radical, liberating elements of their message and their person, and they highlight the more docile, pro-white supremacy elements of them. So when the reason I'm bringing this up is to say that they honored the dead, they really weren't. They were just simply giving lip service. And when I'm talking about controlled opposition, obviously I'm discussing the fact that the mainstream white conglomerates in particular, they will let a Roland Martin, or Rolanda Martina, as I call it. They will let an Angela Rye, they will let a Lomina Joy Reid, they will let a Donna Lemonade, they will let these individuals, snap their head, and they'll let them say something pro-Black from time to time. But they're still going to tell you to support Babylon's system by voting and don't ask for nothing. They're still not going to hold your open enemies accountable through proper punishment. They're not going to make you whole. They're not going to provide a Marshall Plan type program specifically for Black people. So they'll let you openly complain to give the appearance. Do you see that there's resistance? To give the appearance that they're being fair and balanced and allowing this. But as long as you don't advocate doing anything about it, do you understand? That's controlled opposition. So there's nothing substantive about those individuals, is what I'm trying to say. So it was never real in the first place. It was a front, is all I'm saying. There's a difference between a false prophet and a real prophet. There's a difference between a wheat and a tare, right? A tare is a weed that looks like wheat. There's a difference between a wolf and a sheep. There's a such thing as a wolf in sheep's clothing. So our people have to begin to understand, and understand what the world is going on. It was never real in the first place. And when our open enemies control the narrative and control our history, right? They lie to you, telling you that you've overcome something, when in fact we're just in a more evolved state of bondage, as it were.
Indeed. So, Red, Vicki and Griff just gave a magnificent response to my first question. Let me just repeat it for you so you can close out this first question. I asked, I noticed the same people that praise Muhammad Ali, as well as many others in the past who stood up for what they believe in, they're criticizing the people who are doing it in real time. I notice we are taught when we are young to stand for what we believe in and to be honest and to have integrity. But whenever you display that in society, you get criticized for it. So it's like a weird dynamic that happens with that. So my question to you is, why does that psychology exist, my brother?
Well, first of all, keep in mind that there was a lot of people who would openly praise Muhammad Ali, but behind his back say that the reason why his condition was the way it was because of the fact that, you know, he was against the system and whatnot. He didn't play along and get along, right? And the civil rights generation, that includes my father and a bunch of other elders and whatnot, my moms and them, they would be considered the civil rights generation. You know, a hard majority of them have been compromised. You know, they've been compromised by Americana. They've been assimilated into what we call the system and whatnot. They were on the outskirts of the system in the quote unquote 60s and whatnot. They forcefully removed themselves and they were off of the grid per se. You know what I mean? They were not with their ambitions was to be anti-system. You see that they got Panthers coming home last year from, you know, from the smoke that cleared in that situation, and the majority of the other people from that movement and whatnot, they got government jobs, federal jobs. They put them up in colleges and whatnot. You know, they coddled them. They took care of them. They coddled them. They basically, they helped. They got them some mortgages. They helped them with a HUD loan and whatnot. These people got comfortable. Comfortability is threatened when you see somebody bucking the system, because Negroes take every action that other Negroes do when it's positive. It's like, damn, why you fucking shit up for us? But nobody complains when Negroes are being Negroes. You don't hear them say, damn, y'all fucking shit up for us by drilling around the way and everything and killing everything. They don't wear that. They don't make that them. But whenever somebody like Kyrie steps up, or somebody like a Muhammad Ali and whatnot, it's damn, you making it bad for us. Calm down. You'll hear all of these new talking heads, right? Your mans in them from ESPN. You dig what I'm saying?
Stephen A. Smith.
Shannon and all of them. You got Stephen A. Smith and whatnot. All of the talking heads, Don Lemonhead and all of these Negroes, Joy Reid, they'll activate the bobbleheads, the new talking heads and whatnot, to make it seem like whatever infraction somebody is doing against white zaddy system, that they're affecting the peanuts that and the crumbs that these people are feasting off of.
Facts.
All right, man. What a way to end that question. Thanks for coming through, Red. We appreciate you, my brother. I know you just stepped in to your spot. Well, one thing I've seen a lot of in the comments section, different people posting different things, is people are actually kind of offended when you compare Kyrie, what Kyrie's doing, to a Muhammad Ali. They're like, that nigga ain't no Ali. You going too far with that. He don't even come close to Ali. So I noticed that they did that with Kaepernick. Like, nah, you going too far with these comparisons. Is that a form of self-hatred that we can't see somebody, like, once again, who's alive doing it? We can't salute them and see them in a positive light, or is there some truth in that criticism?
No, it's not really any truth in the criticism, but it's coming from that individual's perspective. If they don't know history standing in the present, they can't see anything in the future. They don't have any perspective in the present to pull from the past.
Okay.
So what they do something very childish, Brother Rich. They'll start comparing. Knowing a little bit about the present and nothing about the past. So they resort to their childish ways by comparing, I like that one and I don't like that one.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And third graders do that. And we know that. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of sitting back and saying, that was the 60s, this is the 80s. And instead of looking at the common denominator, which is our damn enemy. But people are just fighting the enemy in the way that they know how. I'm only using the tools that I was given when I did my thing in the 80s to present. I was given the music. That was my platform. I couldn't do it in politics. I was in hip hop.
Right.
To compare what I did then to somebody now, it's like, come on, don't do that. That was my struggle. That was my struggle then. That's the platform I had to speak from. And I did it in the way that I did. We didn't have social media back then. I sat across the table from a gentleman with a microphone in my face with a tape recorder. That's just that particular platform. You understand what I'm saying? If that interview had happened real time, it probably would have been a different outcome. If that interview was done today, it would probably be a whole different outcome.
Right.
So we shouldn't allow these people that refuse to sit down and come up out of the confines of the 140 characters to go back into history and study the struggle of a Muhammad Ali to understand the struggle of a Kyrie Irving today. And there's no need to compare it. It's just really no need to compare it unless you're going to compare the complexity of your open enemy.
Come on.
And how they're attacking both of those individuals. Then let's deal with it from that perspective. Let's measure it with that standard. What enemy were they fighting?
Right.
The enemy today is using social media. Back then, they had the power of every network because they controlled every network. And the only people that they let on the network that was black was Negroes that they control.
Right.
Come on.
Like Vicki just finished talking about. They have this controlled opposition. And Red just said it also. These Negroes that they are allowed to come on. They would never YouTube would never shut their channels down because they're using them.
Right.
Facts.
They need them.
They need
to
them.
to keep fuel in the fire.
Yes.
Right.
That's my take on it.
Can I add on?
Wait, hold on. One last thing. We saw a living example of that with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B recently. They will reach and get them, people that are not political, but they'll get them to speak on political things. They would never call us.
Come on.
Right. No, they ain't calling me. You understand what I'm saying? Because they know, and you know something? I'm not even the one that's well versed in that particular subject. They could have easily called Rizza Islam.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we got to understand that particular dynamic. But what they're banking on the petty beef with Griff and Rizza Islam, which is not even a beef. I don't even really know the brother like that, but they're banking on that.
That's right.
They're banking on it so much that we cancel one another out. You understand what I'm saying? We got to stay focused and we got to know and understand who the real enemy is. I'm not your op.
Come on.
Black man is not my op. We did a show, Rich, 2 years ago, and we were comparing the spirit because this is about the spirit.
Come on.
I'm talking to religious people out there, and I'm talking to you spiritual people and all of you occult Negroes. Shout out to you. But it's the spirit. So there's two dominating spirits in sports, right? There's two dominating archetypes in the sports arena, right? And in these two spirits, you're able to identify different characters and who embodies the spirit, right? So the original spirit of Muhammad Ali, right? Post Cassius Clay, after he switched up and he bucked the system, because people highlight the aspect of him going against the Vietnam War. That wasn't the most radical thing that he did. The most radical thing that he did was drop his slave name and pick up that motherfucking X. That was the most radical thing that he did. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the new spirit that came into the league and compromised athletes and whatnot, his name was Orenthal James. Okay. That's O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson said, I'm not black, I'm O.J. Okay? I'm not black, I'm O.J. Right? And what he did was he was able to trump, or he was able to move, or he was able to knock the spirit that Muhammad Ali was infusing into the athletes, the Jim Browns of the world, and all of these brothers who were on some, you know, they were on their alpha and omega. They were standing their ground and whatnot. You dig what I'm saying? He came around, you know what I mean, with a pink toe fetish. You feel what I'm saying? He was accepted by white America. He let it get to his head. He got endorsement deals, meaning that he got to the bag when they were watching brothers like Muhammad Ali, quote unquote, struggle and whatnot. So in the minds of people who were assimilating, right? Athletes who wanted to assimilate. They wanted to sit at the table. They didn't want to build their own table. They didn't want to turn over their own table. They left the Negro leagues and went to sit at these people's table, and they did not bother if these people told them, nigga, you got to sit under the table. They was like, yes, sir. They didn't even get a seat at the table. To this day,
Thanks.
You don't even got black owners.
Indeed. Yes, sir.
I like the way he left that mic on the table like that. Like
okay. That's right.
You don't have black owners, right? You don't even have black owners. They left the Negro leagues where there were black owners. They left, they left what they had when they were owners to be employees, and not even employees. I'm talking about they are the help. The glorified help, that is. You know, they'll put the nigga on a Wheaties box. You the glorified help. You made it to Wheaties box and whatnot. So the spirit of Orenthal James is dominant in the league and whatnot. That's why Michael Jordan and a bunch of them feel that they don't have any obligation whatsoever to do anything for the people, because they're only chasing a bag. They're trying everything in their athleticism to be accepted and whatnot, and to get picked by corporations and other rich white men and women and whatnot, and they want to be lapdogs. That's just how it is in a nutshell. They're not about building their own. They're not about self-sufficiency. They're not about coming together as a coalition. You got the NBA, you have the players union. What are these niggas building? You got a group of millionaires. Are they into crypto? Are they into DeFi? Do they have an NFT platform? What are they doing? Are they producers on movies that are showing the illustrious, glorious history of our people? No, they're not doing none of that. They running behind rappers and they capping and whatnot, and they low key are, touching their toes for them people. Yeah, that part.
Okay. Vicki, you want to add on to that?
Well, one of the things we're recognizing with these individuals in the high places, as I keep telling my tribe, is that power in this season is coming from the ground up. We are the new leaders today, and this is so exciting. And we're always talking, I'm always talking about the Black Grassroots, or BGR. And that is to say, when we're talking about that, we're actually tapping into the ancestral energy as well, because the grassroots is about what the root the nutrients, right? It's about what's deep within the earth. And we understand that there are water deposits. The most valuable stuff is underground, right? We know that minerals, we know that gold, we know that oil, talk black to me, is underground. So power, the most valuable things in this season is coming from the ground up. And we are seeing the end of white people's black people. Do you understand? We're done seeing, we're done with it. We're recognizing, when you're talking about by the Spirit and recognizing, yes, you're in blackface. Joy Reid is a form of blackface. Don Lemon is a form of blackface. But we understand that energy is still pro our opposition. So it's such an exciting time today to, number one, be able to recognize that and to be right and to tap into the pulse of the people and what Spirit is doing in this hour. And so we're just getting started. So that's the beauty of it. We're seeing the end of their glory, the end of their power. And when I'm invoking scripture, I want to be clear that I see the Bible as a book of magic, because we understand that the mythologies and the stories and the analogies that were in the text, notwithstanding the tampering of the book, are stories that were primarily taken, borrowed, stolen from original Black ancient text. So there's still power and energy within that book, as well as the Quran, as well as the Emerald Tablets, as well as other sacred books. So when I am invoking, dear family, the Bible, I'm talking about it from a book of magic. When I use the word magic, I'm using it interchangeably with the word energy and spirit. So what we understand, it says in 1 Corinthians, not many wise men after the flesh, not many noble, but God chooses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. That's us. We qualify. And so that's what's so exciting right now, is that we are seeing the end of the high of the mighty. It says that so no man will glory in his flesh. So we're the ones right now that are the new rulers. And so get ready. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. Even through this time of difficulty, there's a changing, not just of the guards, but of the gods. Gods meaning one with force and power. That's us. You understand that mainstream white conglomerates, when the stats came out, right? They showed that the average person is getting their news from where now? From us.
Right.
This is the reason why your mainstream conglomerates are running to social media while at the same time trying to censor us, mock us. Whenever I hear somebody say how toxic the internet is, how toxic social media is, I understand it, because I used to feel the same way. But then you realize that this is their sneaky way of censoring us. Are you going to sit here and tell me that Fox News is not toxic?
Right.
Are you going to sit here and tell me that MSNBC and CNN and all of the white conglomerates that helped to sell the lie that we were in a just war and that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction? These are the same white conglomerates that didn't give you a voice. Right. These are the same ones that shut your mouth, that mocked you, and they picked their Black-looking people to push their talking points. My point is that all areas of media have levels of toxicity. So when you join in and act like it's just the internet, you're joining in on them establishing new laws and policies to silence you. You understand? Because we're using this alternative medium to get out our message. So it's very important that we understand right now that we're not only controlling the narrative, but we're controlling world events.
No, that's
hold on, Vicki.
But
give her a bomb.
That's
where the bomb at, Red? Where the bomb at? I thought he was dropping the bomb.
Right, I thought he was dropping the bomb too. But Vicki, you said something very key. We're controlling world events. That reminds me of, what's the sister name? Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
She says, you know something? I'm putting the brakes on all of this because my mental health and my health is more important than these damn games.
Come on.
That's right.
Vicki, what you said is right on point. Yeah, I wish I had some fire to send you over there.
I receive it.
Well, one thing I noticed they always do, like when like Vicki said, they put these Black looking people up there, but their soul ain't really Black. They always remind the celebrities, if they get a little bit out of line, the Black celebrities, they remind them about how much money they're making.
Come on.
Stephen A. keeps telling Kyrie about how much money he's making. They told Simone Biles, I think that's her name. Simone, is that her name?
Right.
Yeah, they kept telling her how much money she made. They always remind them about the money that they made, and they should be grateful and appreciative.
Right.
And gratitude is a part of that. That's the biscuit. and the bone that you get. I call them not only biscuits, I call them bones and biscuits. And it's amazing how Jamil Hill came for me one time on social media saying she felt I was being disrespectful by using that term. You know, Rolanda Martin felt the same way. A brother on MSNBC, Tremaine Lee, but Tremaine Lee unblocked me and called me, talked black to me. And I talked black to him, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying that publicly. Some CNN folks was in my DM, but I would keep them nameless right now because there's no reason for me to say their names right now. But the point for which I'm making, the reason why I'm saying this, and of course, Meghan McCain blocked me from the view because after I defended Tamika Mallory and my son's son, because they call them anti-Semitic and dogged them, of course, Tamika later on blocked me. But the point of all of this that I'm saying right now is understanding that it's the God energy. What was the first part that you just left off of? The last thing that you said?
The last thing I said, oh, Brother Rich.
Yeah. The last thing that you said.
Oh, I was talking about Simone Biles and how she took control back over her. She said her body and her mind was not in sync. So when you said that we're kind of we're setting the pace and they're coming to us, you understand what I'm saying? And we're controlling a particular thing. So she had the world stage because a lot of these sports people trying to get to the pinnacle of success is the Olympics. She was there. And at the Olympics in the palm of her hand, she put the brakes on it. She says, now, wait a minute. I'm more concerned about my health right about now. What is the half Japanese sister tennis player? She put the brakes on it also.
Osaka,
right. She said, I'm not going to Wimbledon. I'm more concerned about my mental health.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That lends credibility to the conversation that we had a minute ago, to whereas the dominant spirit, right? In sports is about going after the bag. That's what Orenthal James, that's what OJ represented. What Muhammad Ali represented is, he said, morality and character and integrity over the bag, right? He was willing to sacrifice the bag. When he changed his name after he got the title, they was like, what about the bag, right? What about the money? This is post-civil rights carrot dangling. This is how they got our people and put them to sleep. Did Europeans, after integration happened, did they come and work for Black-owned businesses in the hood?
No.
Okay. After the women's suffrage and all of this crazy stuff and whatnot, Gloria Steinem, did white women come and work for Black women and take care of their children and clean up their house?
No.
So they assimilate, they let you niggas in the house, right? That's what the civil rights, all of this legislation was about. We're gonna let you assimilate into Americana. We're gonna give you a seat at the table, and a seat at the table is equivalent to the bag. So even up until today, the minute somebody acts up, they're like, oh, what about your money? The baby, we're gonna cancel you. We're gonna cancel your money, right? So as long as you're like Dave Chapelle pointed out, as long as you're killing Black people on wax, promoting negativity, as long as you're with the agenda, there is a reward system to that. We'll get you endorsements. We'll get you a bag. We'll put you on Forbes. You'll pop up on this top 20 list so you could pop your collar. We'll give you perfume, lingerie, sneaker, all kind of deals is out there. You know what I'm talking about? You got billionaires hanging out with, with drillers. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. There's a reward system if you play the part. But the minute that you act like you don't need their quote unquote crumbs and whatnot, they'll begin to threaten what they know, because it's like Carmelo Anthony pointed out that the NBA is integrated with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He said the NBA is the feds. So they'll bring you in, sit your ass down, and start showing you mad files of shit that they got on you. Because everybody's under surveillance. These are $40 million slaves. They're investments. There's no way that they don't have an intelligence agency following and watching and paying attention to all of the ones who have the potential to become, to the potential to wake up a spirit of a Muhammad Ali. Remember, this is about being in the spirit. So a lot of so LeBron James, he cosplays being in the spirit, right? He's able to cosplay some Ali shit, but when the going gets tough, he'll switch right back to the OJ spirit. You dig what I'm saying? He toes that line. You dig what I mean? There's a lot of athletes that completely, they'll never ever think about even encompassing the spirit of a Muhammad Ali, because in their mind, even subliminally, they like, he went out bad. He suffered. It wasn't worth it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not envious of that man. I'm envious of Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and all of these other people who zipped it up, was not non-political, did not speak for nobody, and now they're playing golf. You dig what I'm saying? Look at, they all chubby and whatnot, looking all, you know, like they're happy. You know what I'm saying? Remember, it's the subliminals. So, and then you also have to keep in mind, like Blue Pill points out, the coaches are the fathers to these black men. You understand? The coaches are father figures. So the minute they get out of line, it's the coach who pulls up and straighten these niggas up. You dig what I'm saying? And if he can't straighten them up, then it goes through the ranks and whatnot, and it'll go all the way to the commissioner. But the coaches are there to keep niggas in line. You know what I mean? They're the overseers. Okay. Yeah. And they're the ones that are gonna pull you in the locker room and and they'll be like, remember your mama was living in that 1-bedroom apartment? They'll speak to your poverty. And they know that you fear poverty. They know that you fear going back into poverty. They know that you don't have your financials in order, to whereas you still need a middleman. You're not decentralized. You still need them. So they could keep you on a string and whatnot, because these niggas are not really independent. They're not taking the checks that they have and building anything to make themselves outside of the league. The majority of them go broke after a couple of years because they don't got no investments. They don't have any proper investments.
That's where I was going earlier about the notion of the bones and biscuits, which is where I got into those major platforms that I was talking about. And the reason why I feel so rich, do you understand? And compared to these major mainstream white conglomerates, this notion of bones and biscuits that I coined has to do with, as when we call folks biscuits, you know, that's an actual historical reality, that back in the day, our people that did things that were beneficial for our open enemy, literally one of the rewards that you were given was food, was chicken, was biscuits. So this is the reason we refer to them as biscuits. But the reason why I added on this notion of bones and biscuits is when I looked at our family terrier and realized he has a biscuit too. He's got a doggy biscuit. And some of our Black looking people have devolved into not even acting as human beings in their need and their sick love to have nearness to whiteness. Do you understand? You have now moved from even being anywhere near a human being to acting like a beast. So that's the reason why I went into say bones and biscuits. Why am I talking about doggy bones? It's because I understand this very simple principle that this animal spirit, our family dog, taught me, is that the bone for him is compliance food. Right. So when I want to reinforce a good behavior like sit, God, I just offer him a bone. Do you understand? There ain't nothing miraculous you got to do. These Black looking people, these Uncle Ruckuses, these Aunt Jemimas, these raccoons, all you got to do is sit. You feel what I'm saying? All you got to do is comply with what I'm doing. I'm giving you a biscuit. But now we're even off of that right now. Now you can't even get a biscuit. You can't get a bone. You can't get a crumb. You just happy to get a whiff of a biscuit. Talk Black to me. Talk about these so-called legacy civil rights leaders. What did Joe Biden do in November when it was official that he had sealed the presidency? He was just waiting for January to come, right? So he could take the oath of office. Remember, he gave the middle finger, him and Kamala, to what? Reverend Al Sharpton, the Rat, the Urban League, NAACP, and others, right? They were so freaked out because they couldn't get that crack. That's Joe Biden. They didn't get that White House access no more that they had when they was looking for our vote, right? That they, the most loyal of slaves, took to the media, snitched on Joe Biden, them saying he ain't returning our calls. He ain't talking to us about nothing. And guess what Joe Biden and them agreed to do? They got a Zoom call, didn't they? He did a Zoom meeting, cussed them out. And what did he say in the Zoom meeting just a few months ago? It hadn't even been a year. He said that America is not just doomed. What? Not just because of Black people. Why isn't that making the headlines? He said also because we're getting ready to move into what? European minorities in a few years.
Right.
Why isn't that dominating the news that this white Democratic authoritarian president now says that America is partially doomed because of black people and because white folk in America's numbers are dwindling? Do you understand that this is the central issue of our time? As it's written in Revelation 12:12, they know their time is up, which is why they're making havoc on the earth. And the Dr. Francis Cress Welsing told us what? The fear of what? Genetic annihilation, right? Didn't our sister tell us that? She was absolutely right. So I'm saying all that to say that this notion of the bones and biscuits is because we've lionized and we have made the apex of heaven on earth what white people have, though we're the ones that built it. So I'm suggesting that we go back to our future and integrate spirituality and metaphysics. Jesus, as we know him, though we know him to be a black revolutionary and more than what we're told, and certainly not confined in the strict, inflexible religious context that we put him in, because there are multiple metaphysical stories that's related in this notion of Jesus, the Christ. But let's just take a traditional story. He rocked the Sanhedrin, which was a religious power system of the day. He rocked the Zealots, the Sadducees, the Sadducees that had influence with the Roman government of the day. But he used his magic. And when he needed to pay taxes, he would get the gold out of the fish's mouth. When he needed sustenance, he said, Father, I thank you, multiplied fish and bread. He could draw the crowds. He did miracles. That was a real rich. He was wealthy. He had bank accounts on multiple dimensions. And that's why he couldn't be pulled in the Garden of Gethsemane when the devil said, I'll give you the world if you bow down. He took him to a high place. I'll give you a cover story. I'll give you fame. I'll give you fortune. He was able to maintain it because he understood. And we have a level of richness. And I'm Vicki Dillard. I'm a celebrity in the heavenlies. I've had baby. There's a substance about me. And I know I walk heavy with an invisible force. And until we get back to that bigness of who we are, all we're going to do, man, does not live by bread alone.
Bread alone, right.
But by every word. In the beginning was the word was with God, the word was God, the word became flesh.
Right.
There's a wealth, there's a spirituality, there's a substance that we're missing. And when we get to that, we won't be lured, do you understand, by what our open enemy is pulling us to do. All they're doing is imposing economic sanctions, which is why when I hear Black-looking people on social media make fun of Black men and women who are teaching Black empowerment through cryptocurrency, through business empowerment, through stuff that all of you are involved in one form or fashion, I'm disgusted when I hear them make fun of it because it's a liberation activity.
Right.
Because when we can find ourselves, when we can engage, go ahead.
That was literally my next question. And you jump right into it. That's how the spirit moves. That's synchronicity. It lets me know that the spirit and the flow is right. But my question was, Red talking about this OJ versus this Muhammad Ali spirit that exists within our celebrities and how most of them, say that again?
Athletes, particularly. Yeah,
athletes in particular. Most of them display the OJ spirit. My question was, will cryptocurrency, we got this cash rules everything around me mentality in our culture, will cryptocurrency and decentralized finance and these new financial systems we see emerging, will there even be a need for a house nigga or a coon or these rolling Martins with this being the main financial system that exists? Go ahead, Red. I see you got your hand raised. You can start it off.
What Vicki was touching on, and what I was also speaking about earlier when we speak about the spirit, right? The magic word is the spirit, right? We have to keep that in mind, and we have to return to the fact that the spirit of the people is broken. our people, I could go on record to say I don't give a damn if you was an athlete, you was an actor, or regardless, whatever your profession or your occupation or your contractual agreement may be, whatever you identify as. We were the most wealthiest. We were the most richest. We were the most valuable when we did not have what they call fiat and debt and all of these other quote unquote these trinkets that they threw at us.
Right.
When you go into these locker rooms, when you speak to these athletes who DM you and whatnot, and they want to talk on the side, right? When you have powwows with actors, rich black people, what do you always hear? And these are the people, the individuals who think that they don't got it, want to emulate and live vicariously through. But they'll be like, fam, I'm empty. Be like, how is that so? Because my spiritual bank account is bankrupt.
Come on now.
Right? The things that I had to do for these pennies, the things that I had to do for these crumbs, the things that I had to, the cheeks that I had to turn in these rooms where men were getting their backs blown out, the rooms I had to walk into where women were getting gang banged by Harvey Weinstein and Jeff Epstein and all of them. The shit that I had to endure to say that I got 6 M's in my bank account. I'm spiritually bankrupt because the things that I had to do, it put my spirit on zero. You understand? They don't have what we have. They don't have, they're not enriched spiritually. They can't look at themselves in the mirror for the things that they've done for these peanuts.
Facts.
Right. So you're absolutely right, man.
Will change things. I'm like, nah, niggas got to get their crystal currency correct. They got to get their spirits right. Your spirit becomes enriched when you put in that work. I'm also going on record that I saw my people at their most wealthiest during the George Floyd protest. Niggas was rich. And they felt free. And niggas was lit. I was watching everybody's live and whatnot. They were feeling wealthy because we were together. We were moving the middleman out of the way. You dig what I'm saying? We were recognizing the value in each other.
Facts.
You know what I'm talking about? Because the value is life. The value is the new life that we can create. The value is the elders that we could help not suffer and whatnot, and we could do things for them. The value is in community. The value is in black love. The value is in family. That's where the value has been taken, and they threw peanuts at niggas, and they was like, go sell this crack. Go sell this fucking fentanyl. Go sell this dog food and whatnot. Go sell this gangster rap. Go sell some box, right? And they got our people running around dangling. They dangling these carrots. The carrots, you bring out the diamond tester, carrots ain't even real. You know what I mean? It's all false. It is a huge illusion. This printed up paper, this fiat and whatnot. But what is going to happen for the younger athletes, the ones that are coming out of college and they're able to monetize their college careers and whatnot, they're going to request that they get paid in crypto. They're going to request that they get quote. It's already happening. You know what I'm saying? So yes, there's going to be more financial literacy because what you cannot stop and what you can't necessarily negate is that based off of what we've done, based off of what our master teachers have prepared, we've basically did a lot of clearing of the way, heavy lifting, and we've been digging up these quote unquote the dry bones and whatnot. So now we have a wave of financial gurus and financial literacy. That has a because once you get certain other things out the way, you give way to other things to come rushing in and whatnot. The dam is broken.
Come on.
But it ain't break on its own.
Right.
The dam is broken and we getting flushed with a whole bunch of shit. Health information, wealth information. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is flowing in and whatnot. So the younger athletes, they're becoming educated. You can't uneducate them. They're educating themselves on YouTube University and other places, not in the not in the Ivory League towers and whatnot. They're learning on their own. They got Rich Paul, like there's a whole bunch of Rich Pauls popping up. You got athletes that are picking their homies for the financial advisor.
Come on.
Fact that I know that all of the financial advisors are robbing the NBA players because none of these niggas are rich in crypto yet. You dig what I'm saying? Nobody is sitting on 5,000 Bitcoins. Nobody is sitting on 100,000 ethers and whatnot. And they had financial advisors back then. Where are their money? What did their money get invested into? Oh, I could show you. I got the receipts. It's everything in Tel Aviv. Right? Everything in Tel Aviv, NBA, NFL, all of these players, the financial advisors had them invest in all of these businesses.
Don't do them like that, Brad. Don't do them like that. He said Tel Aviv. Oh, don't do them like that. Don't expose them like that. Go ahead, Griff.
Brad, they in bed with our open enemy, man, and they've contracted these spiritually transmitted diseases.
I call them slutty vegans.
Wow. That's powerful.
You're all on tonight.
You're right about Carmelo Anthony. It reminded me of a book I had on the shelf. I don't want to talk about it, but when you said Carmelo Anthony said the NBA is working with the feds, there's a whole book on the Nation of Islam, the FBI files.
Right, I read that.
Come on.
Exactly. So there's a file. But
yes.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
There's 16 intelligence agencies. It doesn't have to be the FBI. It's 16 intelligence agencies. Go ahead.
One of them is called Instagram. Shit. One of them is called Facebook. Intelligent gathering institutions that gather your information. That's why when the whistleblower came out and blew the whistle on Facebook, Facebook was playing chess. They said, you know something, we got to do something about this. Okay, shut everything down. Let's wipe the service so they can't go back and get in this information.
Right. And the business of it is called surveillance capitalism, right? The business of it is called surveillance capitalism. It's a European, I think she's Israeli, Shoshana. She's a Harvard professor. She put out a dope book. And there's videos on YouTube about it. Surveillance capitalism, big data. Data is everything. All of these social media conglomerates and platforms, they became trillionaires not off of AdSense and whatnot, off of data, off of selling your data to third parties. Predictability, behavioral quote unquote studies to see what you're gonna do in the future. They could checkmate you 4 steps ahead just based off of crunching your information and doing psychological profiles, because it's bigger than, oh, I want to find out if he likes chocolate or not, so we could pitch Hershey bars to him in the ads and whatnot. They went way beyond that. They now are predicting behaviors. They know if they give an acquittal to a cop killer and whatnot, a cop who kills a black person, they're able to predict when you niggas are gonna start rioting and when you're gonna stop rioting. They're able to predict all of that. They was able to even know if they put that song WAP out, that shit it completely extinguished the uprising of the George Floyd protests. You dig what I'm saying? The same way that they came out with the ice bucket challenge when everybody was getting heated up, right? And poured ice on all of you niggas and sat you down and whatnot. So this is controlled opposition. We are in the quote unquote real life matrix where they're utilizing analytics, they're utilizing algorithms, they're utilizing big data, they're utilizing surveillance, capitalism, surveillance surplus, and a whole bunch of things to really checkmate niggas and put them in a box. You dig what I'm saying? And we're at war right now because you know what is going on and you know what is happening. We can't really talk about it. I could get into some pig Latin, you know what I mean? We could say ishne, achne, but you know what I'm talking about. We understand. And it's a lot of niggas that have blood on their hand and they're complicit.
Yes.
They're complicit. And we're never going to forget what role you played in the war
during these times, right?
Never,
yeah,
you can never.
Don't that's high tech. That's high tech.
No excuse.
What did you say? High tech what?
High tech behavior modification. They modify your behavior.
Yeah,
right.
according to their needs.
Right.
They're playing chess without even touching the pieces.
Without even touching the pieces. The whistleblower on Facebook, she broke it down excellently. And when you go and do the research on surveillance capitalism, you'll get a better understanding of how the algorithm, by placing certain people in echo chambers, they are socially engineering your minds. The fact that they're putting you might have, I got 85,000 followers. I only see 500 people a day. At some point, it got frustrating to me. I said, I'm tired of seeing these niggas. You understand? Yeah. They made me feel like nobody else was doing nothing. Nobody else was alive. Nobody was active. No, I'm running into people like, damn, what's popping with you? You ain't what you doing in the movement? They like, damn, I just built the school. I'm like, I didn't know about that. Facebook didn't tell me that. Right. You know what I mean?
May I do
yes.
Let Vicki, go ahead, sis.
I love it when you use these high-tech words, because even when my mind can't grasp them, my spirit does. And I can perceptually know what you're talking about without logistically knowing. But I master magic over logic. That's what I'm really good at, is magic over logic. I leave all of that to y'all. And what's your friend, your conference you got coming up, Black Magic? What's your brother's name?
Billy Carson.
But I'll be listening to y'all. I'll be like, Lord, today. But I still put myself in environments with language and concepts and subjects that I don't understand. You know, you don't grow until you put yourself in uncomfortable positions to learn more and expose yourself to more. And sometimes there could be a seed of something and later understanding comes. But one of the things that I'm understanding with this notion of force field and spiritual principles that talk about how when the kingdom comes, you won't be able to recognize it. And the scripture says you won't say that the kingdom is there or there, right? It talks about how the kingdom is within you, but also how it's going to be perceived, and it'll start small. Why am I bringing that up now? While we're able to expose, because this is what I do, our open enemy and the movement of our open enemy, so that we can understand why we're running into invisible resistance, right? People that look like us, people that are within our camps, that's a big part of what's held us back. But while we're recognizing, because we can become overwhelmed with this notion, as you mentioned, of the algorithms, the data, and surveillance, and them really commandeering and taking over our lives in every area. But I want us to understand with this webinar I got coming up, October 24th, Sunday, October 24th, I had an encounter with the messenger. And I'm going to share this information. This ain't for everybody. I do magic over logic. So if you're supernatural and spiritual, this is for you. But this messenger told me something about what we've been talking about, messenger DNA, RNA. Right. He told me about the messenger DNA. And I'm going to share activation that this supernatural messenger charged me to do. And then I got confirmation after I first channeled the information. And it has to do with data in our cells.
Talk to them. Y'all love this show. Oh man, y'all too much, man.
That's in our royal blood. They're not wanting you to do the DNA test because they want to tell you what tribe you're from in Africa.
Right. They want that data.
They're trying to find out who these particular people are, whose cells Henrietta Lack is out of space.
Can I get a bulb, Ray? Give me a bulb. Ray, where's the bulb? Ray, can you?
And
go to MissVickiTV.com. My website is right there on the link. Right there. You see it, MissVickiTV.com. Register October 24th. This is for an elite group. Hey. I don't know nothing about nothing. I just know signs and wonders follow, testimonies follow my stuff. I just know about a little team that I work with. I just know what they told me, and I'm going to tell it. I'm going to say this and I'm going to hush. If we say that DNA is about instructions that are in the cell, we were told that it's just about genes. It's just about the color of your eyes, your height, the color of your hair. No, there's a spiritual code and algorithm that you were given in your royal blood. NASA knows it. The government knows it. The elite know it. We don't know it. And I'm going to say this.
The Genome Project, that's what the Genome Project is about, right? The Genome Project, sequencing the human genome, is about identifying the God what they call the Higgs boson, the God particle. That's what they're doing by taking everybody's DNA and whatnot. They're identifying who you are. It's the same thing that they did with the sister Henrietta Lacks, who, by the way, family just filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for the quote-unquote misuse of her DNA.
Why do you think I'm talking about it? These things, messenger RNA, Henrietta Lacks, all of these things are not happening for no reason. It's the invisible, it's the ancestors, it's the spiritual that's trying to get our attention to let us know the time has come. Our open enemy knows it, so they talk about the subject so that they can control it and tell you it's just about your genes. It's just about natural stuff. Do you understand? And I'm telling you, it's more than that. I'm just going to share what I'm told, not because I'm some special expert, but I'm just good at telling it. I'm good at telling it, but I'm going to say this. I'm listening. I'm looking at this quote that I did earlier from this metaphysician, this scientist, Michio Kaku, Kaku. A force field is basically an invisible shield. You push a button and all of a sudden the bubble forms around you, which is impenetrable. It can stop bullets. It can stop ray gun blasts. We realize force fields are actually a little bit difficult to create. That's what I do spiritually. And this kingdom is starting in seed form. So if we're talking about what the government can surveillance, what the government is doing at a distance, I'm trying to tell you that we have a capacity that's already in us. And we're looking at all of the distractions outside of us and the technical things and us being afraid to tap into stuff like film. And we're feeling like that. I don't know enough about science, technology, engineering, but me as a divine feminine, I understand that my womb gives me a strategic advantage. There's an intuitive knowledge and an ability to channel. And I want to share some of that information with our people. But I'm bringing this up to say there's a story I share with my Club Vicki. I promise you I'm done after this. There's a story that I share with my Club Vicki family in 2 Corinthians 6. Remember, when I'm quoting scripture, I'm doing it as a book of magic, not religiously. But there's a story that I think y'all will be able to read through. I promise you I'm going to say this quick. 2 Kings chapter 6 says, that there was this prophet Elisha. How many of y'all heard about Elisha? He's one of the major prophets. He was a protege of Elijah with a J. Elijah was the one that didn't see death, remember? And this fiery chariot came and got him. He didn't see death like Enoch didn't see death. That's a whole other metaphysical story, but we'll leave that alone. His protege Elisha now takes over the miracle working business. This new conjurman, right? This new magician that's out there. We would never call him that, but that's what he was. He had a servant, and he said this, because Elisha was so powerful, governments would come to him for knowledge and information. So Elisha found out that the enemies of Israel were plotting against Israel. So it said that the enemies that were plotting against Israel plotted on a number of occasions, but Elisha kept whispering the secrets and telling the government on them. So the government believed that they had a snitch among them. So he called his officers and said, who's for us and who's for Israel? And they said, oh, none of us are snitches. I'm paraphrasing. He said, it's Elisha, the prophet. Thank you for putting that in the chat, Jackson. Look at the beehive in the building. He said, it's none of us that's snitching. He said, Elisha, the prophet, is the one that's telling. And guess what he said, Brother Rich? He said, Elisha can tell you what you whisper in your bedchamber. Do you think it's by accident that officers that are being caught on camera when they thought they turned off their cameras and videos, do you think that folks that's hacking information and leaking stuff, do you think this is an accident? I've told a couple, 3 secrets here and there, and I have a documented record of raising the dead, literally a few times. These are secrets that I didn't even know that I knew. I know stuff I don't know. Did you hear what I said? I said I know stuff that I don't know. And I want us to begin to tap into this as a unified body so that we can grow in this particular power and then overcome what we believe to be the most powerful and the most impenetrable. I just believe it's more to us than what meets the eye. And I'm seeing sparks here and there in my own little life over here in the corner. And I just think that it's a new day.
That's fine. Listen, that's pure spirit talking. When you said I know stuff that I don't know, that's pure spirit talking right there, family. It don't get no more spiritual than to say that. Most people won't even say no shit like that because they want to seem intellectual. But to say that's pure spirit talking. But I just had to say that. But go ahead if y'all want to add on to the queen right there. That was powerful.
No, I think a lot of times it's more important for people nowadays because of social media to appear more intellectual than spiritual. That's why when Red started talking about the spirit thing, that was key. That's why I came back and said they're in bed with their open enemies and they've contracted the spiritually transmitted diseases.
STDs,
Come on now.
Exactly.
That's so good.
So you on point. You understand what I'm saying? Definitely. And what Brother Rich just said is really powerful because people really want to appear, get this illusion of being very intellectual as opposed to very spiritual. You understand?
Right.
Spirit is not something that you can read about.
Right. Facts.
Lord, what we experiencing with what Vicki is giving us. Because it may not be coming from her, but it's coming through her. And they're deeper than that. Even if she lost everything, what she has is not on her, but it's in her.
In her. That's what I'm saying. Hold on. Exactly what I was referring to about real wealth.
Right.
Yes.
Real riches. When your spirit, when your cup runneth over from within.
Right. Yep.
They can never, you can't go bankrupt. The only way to go bankrupt is that you bankrupt yourself by doing something that will dishonor the spirit.
Come on now.
Everything that you needed will be provided for you. Your name, your reputation will be golden. It will precede you. When you make the transition, you will live as an immortal based off of your spiritual work. I've been to many funerals.
My God. I feel it
about the bag at the end. It's not about they don't talk about how much money you threw in the club and who you was tricking on and whatnot. They talk about your impact. Who did you help and what did you set up for the ones that you left behind?
You're my gavel.
That's the work.
That's right.
And the reason why I'm gravitating towards a Dave Chapelle, the reason why I gravitate towards a Kyrie Irving, who, by the way, was just live on IG talking his talk, and then they muted him. Okay, let's just talk about it. But anyway,
what just now?
Just now, while we live, he's on IG, and they muted him, and he's talking about the fact that he's standing on his principles because of the fact that he is evolving as a man. He cannot. He know his spirit is telling him it's not right. Something is not right. Do not do that shit to you. So I'm seeing a spiritual transformation amongst a 1% of these quote unquote celebrities who we watch, and we watch them like they're stars and whatnot. I'm able to identify change on a spiritual level. I know who's in touch with their innermost. Chapelle, he adheres to a Muslim faith and whatnot. I don't know how deep he's been on his deen and whatnot, but when he did his special, that shit was spiritual.
Come on now.
He wasn't trying to go for the cuckoo laughs. He was demonstrating his genius. You understand? And that shit was spirit. He was speaking from his spirit at some points. And when I see Kyrie stand for what he's standing, it's not like he's trying to be rebellious. It's not even like he's trying to follow the footsteps of her Kaepernick and whatnot. What he's doing is he, as someone who's becoming spiritually evolved and whatnot, and somebody who's tapped into the grassroots because he shouted out.
Come on,
right? It's not speculation. It's not speculation. It came out of his mouth who he's listening to.
I heard that.
And who he's tapped into and whatnot. So he's going through his transformation, and he feels protected by a higher source than the NBA commissioner, the quote unquote media and whatnot. These are not your masters.
Come on.
You know what I'm talking about? We're at war on higher principalities. Who's your big homie, my nigga? You cannot obey two masters. So who do you fear?
Come on.
Because I believe in martyrdom. You understand? I embrace that shit. You feel me? I can never die. You understand? Energy never dies. I embrace martyrdom. You want to pull up? Go pull up. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna tap out together.
Real quick, Greg. You know what's funny but not funny? The liberals, they tried so hard to tell us how much of a big bad bully Donald Trump was, and how horrible he was, and how bad it would be for us if we got him back in office. And all we needed to do. I'm not a Trump fan, y'all. So don't. I'm just making a point. I'm making a point. They told us, oh, it's going to be horrible if this man gets in office. This man is brash. He's he's what's that word when you don't have coof and you're not
he's uncouth.
He's uncouth. He's not politically correct. He's this, he's that. They turn around, he leaves, and they the biggest, baddest bullies on the block.
Come on.
They telling us what we need to do, when we need to do it. And like I said, we're at war, so I'm not going to use the word, but the whole Jabberwocky thing, I mean, they shame, they teach us about bullies and shaming and peer pressure. They peer pressuring us every day on CNN.
Every day.
This shit is, if you don't see this black people with the liberals, and if we're talking about Dave Chapelle and Kyrie, those are both two liberal agendas, the LGBTQ and the Jabberwocky.
Right.
So can y'all comment on how the liberals are just exposing themselves in this age, like big time?
Well, yeah, they were exposed during the Trump administration. Keep that in mind. That was the great awakening of during the 2020 lockdown. The Democrats got their skirts completely lifted up. Donald Trump had no problem for the whole 4 years to expose piece by piece and brick by brick. He started out with the fake news. He dismantled the quote unquote trust that American public had in the media, right? And what they did was they utilized the race card, they utilized the race trigger and whatnot. They utilized the fact that he was cozied up with his base and whatnot, and his base would be quote unquote considered to be white supremacists or white nationalists and things of that nature. So that was easy. The spin masters in the media were able to utilize that as a us against them. The George Floyd thing that a lot of people were saying was orchestrated on purpose, right? Not that him being killed was done on purpose, but the fact that they have the power to highlight situations and whatnot and buy out media blocks and blow that shit out of proportion. They did it with George Floyd. George Soros bought a 48-hour media block, and after that 48 hours was over, everybody in America was sort of pit the image of that man with his brains hanging out, laying in the street for 4 hours, and we knew who Mike Brown was, and that's how they work it and whatnot. The media was exposed. The Democrats were exposed. The sex traffickers were exposed to Jeff Epstein and whatnot. And then when his log list came out, it was all Democrats. You know what I'm talking about? It was all Democrats. And then it was the elite of Hollywood. Harvey Weinstein, when he got outed, he exposed everything. He began to unravel what was going on for real, beyond speculation. But and they had to silence him. You don't hear him talking about nothing. You don't see no exposés. You don't see surviving Harvey Weinstein and none of that. And he got big bodies.
Come on.
Big body. Lupita and a whole bunch of people. He got big bodies. So they been exposed. Once you expose the devil, remember V, when they will lift back the mask and show you the reptilian? There's no going back after that. People talking about we gonna go back to the new normal. When? Where? There's no more new normal. It's over, my nigga. You'll never go back to what they try to rock you niggas to sleep and talk about a normal. There's no more normal. We're in a new unnormal. And it's gonna be like that forever. So they got exposed, and now they showing you niggas their fangs and whatnot, because how could they hide? How? Remember when Scooby-Doo pulled the mask off? It's these niggas, it's them.
Come on.
It's them.
Come on.
The Scooby and the niggas, his whole body there, come on, it's them. They ain't the boogeyman the whole time. And then the final straw in this debacle was the loss of the 20-year war, right? This showed you that this is a defunct lame duck administration, one of the most lame duck administrations in history, my niggas. Rome is falling, okay? Hashtag it's a wrap, 21 Savage. This shit is done, my niggas. You understand? And the only people that's holding it up is the motherfucking buffer race, okay? These niggas that they flew over here in the last 20 to 30, the fucking buffer race is the only people that's holding it up. The Catholic Church said the only ones that kept them alive was Latin America.
Wow.
They was dead.
Wow.
White people turned on them.
True.
Yep.
They said it was the Latin Americans that brought them back. Their spirit that they was able to cook in Central America and Latin America brought the Catholic Church back. It's these buffer races over here that's bringing this European back. The Asians, the Africans, people from the Caribbean, the buffer races, buffer groups. They just brought the Afghanistan over here. Do you know?
Red pill, don't hurt him, bro. Don't I see it?
Do you know that the earlier Chinese restaurants, when they popped up in the late 70s, were really Vietnamese refugees? Did you know that?
No.
Did you know that the cuisine in China is not fried fucking wings and rice, my nigga? Do you know they don't eat that over there? They'll look at you crazy for if you ask for rib tips. So that was a perfect example of how they brought a buffer race over here, or a buffer group, set them up in our hood selling MSG and Chinese food.
Come on.
You understand? Gave them all of these loans and all of this other crazy shit.
Yes.
And they're doing that with multiple groups. Me and Blue Pill in 2016, we got invited to United Nations. I saw the General Assembly and I saw how it goes down. They were sitting with a country. They'll broker a deal with a country. They'll broker a deal to go in a country to mine their natural resources. What the United States does for them is they have a folder with 5,000 or 500 visas in it. Henceforth, why when you go to Roy Rogers or 7-Eleven or any one of these new places, they took out Shaquita in them and they replaced them with a whole demographic of buffer race.
Facts.
That's coming all the way down from the UN, right? So then you'll see people from Africa be like, "Yo, dude that's driving the Uber, he's a lawyer in Africa. Dude that's over here selling socks on 2/5, he's a doctor in Africa."
Right.
Because when they broker these deals with the corrupt governments, they bring their people over here. You understand? There's people that you'll never meet from Africa. You got to go over there. That's the buck wild niggas. That's the revolutionaries and whatnot. They'll never get a visa. They won't bring them over here. It be the people that's corrupt that come over here to live the American dream. Let's be clear.
That's right. That is so good. And what Spirit showed me about how this is going to implode on America, because I've been saying for a long time now that these folks' government helped them get over here.
Oh yeah.
When they are filling out the documents, the reason why they're not going to be in league with us, do you understand? I keep saying this with all of the white Hispanics that are in Florida and those that overwhelmingly voted for open races like Donald Trump and so forth. And we know Democrats are racist too, but you know what I'm saying, being the open races. And you're finding a lot of white Cubans in particular, right? And so they're sitting there saying that they're fleeing their country and they didn't want the government, or they don't want to deal with what is it, socialism or communism, right, in their country. So they're saying that they had to flee. What I've been telling my audience is, family, don't get it twisted. Family, don't get it twisted. Isn't it interesting? They're claiming that they're coming here, but they're seeing the oppression of Black folk. But you still flee to a nation where you see that Black folks are oppressing but believing for refuge. And I said, where is Asada?
Right. Exactly, because Black people is oppressed over there.
Where is Asada? Where did Asada have to flee to?
Right.
Cuba.
She's there now, and you all are coming here to open racist, anti-Black America. You're finding refuge here. I said, family, folks that are coming from also other countries and other parts of the world, some of their governments are helping them fill out the paperwork to say, yeah, we're oppressing you and stuff, because America getting ready to get tricked. What the ancestors showed me and downloaded to me was just because America refuses to do right by us, because she's trying to uphold these buffer classes so that they can have allies, because they know that their numbers are dwindling and individuals that's going to help maintain and keep them in power, that's going to turn around and turn on them. These are some of the folks are spies.
Straight spies.
For the government.
Facts. Look, America.
Come on with the documents, some of they're fleeing their governments. America talking about you think that you're vetting their paperwork so good, fool. When spirit is allowing your dumb self to be tricked because of your mistreatment of us, you're allowing hello salt. Hello, salt. I don't know if y'all saw that movie or not. That's what's getting ready to go down, slowness. Yeah. The people you giving the government jobs to, the all access pass, your secrets and your inside stuff. You think they're just sending money home just to be sending money home? Slowness, they're observing America's system. And the government, they're helping them get over here with the visas. Say, yeah, we pressing them. They helping them get the paperwork together and the names and stuff so they can get over here. Slowness.
Right. And there's multiple articles of the Chinese and the Indians and the Russians, right? All of these people who came over here to do what Vicki just said, spy and send the information back to their quote unquote people and whatnot. America is a fucking toilet. Okay. Because when you talk about Cuba, them niggas got put on boats and sent over here. Castro flushed the toilet. Remember, that's the Mariel boat thing and everything and whatnot. When you talk about the Europeans that came over here in the 1800s, the ones who were of German descent, Italian descent, Irish descent, being that we're right on the heels of this quote unquote this atrocious genocidal maniac called Christopher Cologne and whatnot. You know, they have people celebrate, and you're willingly you want to talk spirit, you niggas put yourself underneath a spell willingly. Because that's how the devil sets it up. He said these niggas are gonna do it to themselves. So when you celebrate Columbus Day, you only solidify the spell. You just renew your subscription every year. Then you ended out the next month with Thanksgiving, and you wonder why shit don't work for you. You wonder why your teeth are falling out in teenager years. You wonder why you don't have no edges and whatnot. It's because you're cursing yourself. It's the edges. That's the ancestors cursing niggas. Because when I look at the pictures in the 1800s, niggas had edges. You know what I'm talking about? So the ancestors are like, how are you niggas gathering? How are you gathering as a collective to celebrate on days that are allocated to quote unquote celebrate our genocide? And you niggas wonder why shit is not working for you. They send their worst over here. They sent they sent their worst to Australia, and that created Australia. They sent convicts and whatnot to Australia. They sent convicts over here to the Americas and whatnot. That was a stipulation of your sentence. You either do 23 in an hour lockdown, or you come to America. And they was coming to America. This shit has become the toilet of these other nations and whatnot. You get what I'm saying? But there's good things grow out of shit. I told somebody, respect shit. You know what I mean? Because it's a fertilizer. At the end of the day, it is a fertilizer. That's good. So we with the shits. You know what I mean? And there's some shit popping up every day. But shit is a fertilizer. You know what I mean? But this is the toilet of these other nations and whatnot, because they need the buffer classes. They need the buffer. And when the buffer classes come in, they indoctrinated them in Ellis Island. Now they indoctrinate them at the quote unquote green card office. They make them pledge these allegiances. That's right. They indoctrinate them before they even get over here with Hollywood, MTV, VH1, BET, and all that other fuck shit. And they pledge allegiance to adhere to the quote unquote dictates and the mandates of this quote unquote government. And the number one thing that this government represents is you got to come over here and put your foot on these niggas' necks. Help us. Help us.
That's right.
Help. They rambunctious.
To this day. To this day.
We got peanuts and we have crumbs for you. We have suburbs for you. Look at the Homestead Act. How did the Homestead Act come about?
That's right.
They brought ships of undesirable Eastern Europeans over here. They took our people off of rich indigenous land. You niggas go hiking in Montana one day. Go to Oregon and see how fucking beautiful that land is. Come on. That they completely go to Nebraska and all of that. That's our land, and they moved our people off of them lands, and they brought them goddamn hell's rejects over here, and they moved them in. Fluffed up the numbers. That's why you caught that new wave of the KKK and the lynchings and all of that shit that took place. That was those Europeans who were running our people in Europe was cleansing Europe of melanin people, the 100-year wars, the Huguenot wars, the Reconquista, the quote-unquote Crusades, the Inquisition, all of that was to cleanse. That's why when niggas hear Europe, they only think white people, not realizing that we were on top even in Europa.
That's right.
Right. So they created this quote-unquote thing about whitening the races, right? They whiten out the races. You could do it in 2 generations. Look at Drake and his son. Look at his son. I'm just saying it. I'm giving you modern day context so you can understand when you see these pictures of these princes and these kings and they got the gold blonde hair and all of that, but their father was amalgamated. Their father was mixed. He had black blood in him. When you see a redneck, the fact that their neck is red is because they have red Indian blood in them. Okay, there's no rednecks in Europe.
Come on.
I'm just saying, there's rednecks only in Indian land. How is that? There's rednecks in the land where the red men used to live. And they look like white boys, but they got that blood because the white boys, the Europeans had to marry into indigenous, that's the $5 Indians. They had to marry into the indigenous families to steal the land. So when you see a redneck, that's not a full white boy.
Wow. That's powerful. You got some gems.
Brother Rich, I only have a few more minutes.
Okay, all right, yes. So we're gonna we about to close. I mean, it's just wow. What a show tonight, y'all. I mean, what a fire show, man. I really real powerful. I'm gonna have to play this. This is a classic, y'all. This is I don't say that often, but this is a certified instant classic right here. I guess since Griff only got a few minutes left, let me allow y'all to give y'all contact information. And I know all y'all got stuff coming up. I want y'all to tell the family about that so the family could get up with y'all. So yeah, do that for now before everybody.
Let me just say, on November 19th, I actually have a gun retreat, no retreat. So no retreat, gun retreat. Welcome to the Terror Dome, no retreat, gun retreat. You understand what I'm saying? Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're inviting all of the gun clubs. All right. There needs to be a conversation because something is not being said. When these people come against our people, it almost seems like everybody with the guns get quiet.
Church mouse.
You understand what I'm saying? So if we
I don't see no guns no more.
Pardon me?
I don't see no guns no more. Niggas tuck them.
Exactly. So if we up under the Second Amendment like everyone else is, and we using it to our advantage, then let's use it to our advantage, whether it's an amendment or not. But if you know and understand that it really don't apply to us, then while we're under it, let's take advantage of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's a deeper subject, but I'm saying November 19th through the 21st, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're doing Welcome to the Terror Dome, no retreat, gun retreat. All right. And we're going to go through some training that we need to go through. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a critical thing where you don't need to be underground anymore. Why do I say that? I say that because you don't own, you got land that you got from your parents, but you don't use it to set up no training.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're going to go in the bush. We're going to go in the jungle. We're going to go on 300 acres and we're going to train out in the open legally. You understand what I'm saying? We having a Welcome to the Terror Dome, no retreat, gun retreat, November 19th. You can contact me, Professor Griff, 678-557-2919. Go to my website, www.professorgriff.me, and get ahead and register for it. All right. If you can't go, but you got guap, then sponsor someone that can go.
Right.
Facts.
Send a shorty, send the youth there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Sadly but true, the vast majority of the people I train are women.
Wow.
We need to get beyond the fact that one of our own can't train us into the science of what Hannibal gave us, which is the science of military warfare. Like Vicki said, it's in me. I'm just pulling it out of me. I'm channeling the Mau Mau. I'm channeling the Zulu. You understand? I'm channeling Hannibal and all those military greats. But anyway, 678-557-2919, man. Salute.
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 Yes, sir.
Vicki, yeah.
Yes. I'm so excited, family. Go to MissVickyTV.com. My website was up just a little bit ago. Miss Vicki, that's MissVickiTV.com. And go to purchase store, and you will find there where you can register. Sunday, October 24th. It's less than 2 weeks, fam. Just a week and a few days. Sunday, October 24th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Where I'm going to be, I see your biggest Dillard fan page. Where I'm going to be discussing these secret, these codes that I was given, this information about our royal bloodline and us activating the ancestors that are within our royal bloodline. What that means, I'm going to go through the activation. Why is this important? This is not just a spiritual thing. This is something that after moon cycles, that's going to affect your protection, that's going to affect your babies, your family, your business, your money, your body in multiple ways. So when we understand what these codes are, these secrets are, that has to do with more than just your DNA, talking about your genetics and how tall you are, the color of your hair, and those kinds of things. There are other secrets and magic that was placed within you already. And again, NASA knows it. The scientists know it. America knows it. The elite know it. It's just we didn't know it. And again, I only received confirmation outside once I heard this, and I jotted down in the spirit what I was specifically told by this messenger. And then I found confirmation after I received some of this information. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you because it has real world effects. Make the investment in your life. I'm not a salesperson, but I'm doing it because I know this is bigger than me. It's greater than me. And it's meant for me to share in a safe environment where people that can respect spiritual things and implement the things that I'm looking forward to sharing. That's MissVickyTV.com. Get it today. Thank you so much for allowing me to share that, brother.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, Red. Go ahead, Red.
On Thursday, October the 28th, right? Thursday, October the 28th, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing another segment of my Stream Chasers series. This one is going to be entitled Starter Kit, and it's going to deal with 3 or 4 new income streams dealing with being a digital nomad. We're going to walk you through how to become a digital nomad. We're going to walk you through how to take a digital product and basically, create multiple income streams from that product. There's a lot of brothers and sisters that are forced with resigning. They're getting fired. There's a lot of people that want to just travel, not just the 50 states. They want to go outside of the quote unquote country and whatnot. People have to be equipped with this the new tools and whatnot to the new digital economy. Okay. There's multiple new economies, and there's ways to create recurring income streams, passive income streams, making money while you sleep, 4-hour work weeks and things of that nature. So if you go to streamchasers.eventbrite, you'll see the link for it, streamchasers.eventbrite. I have a brother from the quote unquote biggest crypto play ever, a young brother by the name of Slice. He'll be my special guest. They've been doing big things in the metaverse. They've been doing big things with NFTs. There's an NFT boom going on right now. We're also going to touch on the NFT boom. We might even mint something in real time during the stream to show you how easy it is and how advantageous it is and whatnot. And yeah, we just going to run it up, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are definitely excited about learning on how to, how to fish. Instead of me giving them a fish, we're teaching them how to fish. So streamchasers.eventbrite. I look forward to seeing the family there. And shout out to all of y'all. Definitely.
Indeed, family. And to close it out, gotta remind y'all the universities are here. They're online, family. To what these Western institutions are falling. And even if they weren't falling, they never taught us anything.
Come on now.
But how to be slaves. So you can learn a lot from the brothers and sisters and individuals on the internet offering their master classes or certain levels of expertise. So definitely, if it resonates with you, sign up, get down with it. It's an investment in yourself. And before we get out of here, once again, I got to plug this show. It's sponsored by the Manifest Destiny 2022 virtual retreat. Billy Carson will give advanced stock option instructions as well as spiritual instructions. We're going to have yoga instructors, meditation instructors. The Queen Orisho Shun is going to do a 3-day detox leading up to it. She's going to teach you about health, how to feed your children, it's just so much. It's a 2-day event. It's one of the greatest investments you can make moving in to 2022. And closing out the weekend, David Icke was banned on all social media platforms. He will be a speaker at this event. He will be speaking, and to close it all out, it's going to be an explosive Q&A session with me and David Icke, man. Yo, you heard that, right? Yo, me and David Icke one-on-one. I'm going to get all the questions, all the questions I had throughout the years. I got a lot of things I want to ask that dude, man.
The lizard man.
Yeah, so we're gonna close it out. He got the drop on the jabbing tongue. He got the drop. Man.
I already know.
He got the drop. That's why he got banned from YouTube. He got the drop.
I already know.
I'll share the link in the link in the description. For some reason it's not working. I'm gonna repost it once this show's over, and I put in the chat. But like I said, if it resonates with you, sign up to it or do what you got to do, family. But it's all about investing in ourselves. The world is changing. Don't get left behind, family. I want to thank Red Pill, Professor Griff, Vicki Dillard for being on the show once again. Every time y'all come on here together, it's extremely explosive. I can't wait to get y'all back on here again. With that being said, we get out of here, family. Peace.
Right. Thank